Welcome to the most exciting coin discovery of your life. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and ultra-rare bicentennial coins, an ordinary-looking coin with the power to make you a millionaire overnight. If you've got this hidden gem in your pocket, your entire future could change in an instant. Let's unlock the secrets behind this legendary piece of treasure. First up, the 1974 Australian 10-cent coin has quietly evolved from an everyday piece of circulating change into one of the most talked-about treasures in the numismatic world. Although millions were minted during the early years of Australia's decimal transition, very few examples from 1974 have survived in high quality, and even fewer exist in dirty, heavily worn states that still retain their full details beneath the grime. Its historical weight begins with the fact that it belongs to the first generation of Australia's decimal currency system, introduced in 1966, making it part of the foundational chapter of modern Australian coinage. Collectors today view these early decimals, especially the 10-cent pieces, as milestones, representing Australia's bold shift from centuries of British monetary influence to its own streamlined system. That makes the 1974 issue not just old money, but a symbol of national identity in transition. Despite its humble face value, this coin carries surprising significance because of how the minting conditions of the mid-1970s affected long-term quality. Many 1974 10-cent coins were struck for heavy circulation use, and few were stored or preserved with collectors in mind. As a result, finding one in very fine or extremely fine condition is extremely challenging. Ironically, a very dirty example, still structurally intact under the surface, can be even more appealing to some collectors because dirt and oxidation often signal a natural, uncleaned history. Overcleaned coins lose value quickly, while naturally aged ones keep their original character, making certain grimy specimens unexpectedly desirable. One feature that continues to puzzle and fascinate collectors is the unusual copperage tone that some 1974 10-cent coins display. Although officially composed of copper-nickel, certain batches from this year show a stronger copper influence, giving them a distinctive hue, especially when oxidation settles in. This subtle copper expression is one of the reasons many hobbyists believe that the 1974 issue stands apart from surrounding years. When grime mixes with that copper tint, it creates a rugged, earthy look that enhances rather than diminishes the coin's storytelling power. This natural patina is a visual reminder of the era it comes from and serves as a silent timeline etched into metal. In today's market, the 1974 10-cent coin has shocked even seasoned investors with its soaring price range. Specimens that display clear details beneath the dirt, strikes that maintain sharp lettering, intact edges, and recognizable device features can command prices starting from around $1,000 and skyrocketing above $9,000 depending on condition, surface integrity, tunning, and rarity within a particular grade. The dramatic range is driven by renewed interest in early Australian decimal coins, a surge of new collectors entering the hobby through social media communities, and the global trend of valuing unusual condition pieces. The dirtier the coin, the more authentic and untouched it appears, and in recent years, authenticity has become one of the strongest selling points in the numismatic market. For buyers looking to turn such a coin into a long-term investment, understanding condition is everything. The presence of dirt is not a flaw. The real question is whether the underlying surfaces remain original and undamaged. Hairline scratches, unnatural polish marks, or forced cleaning instantly reduce the coin worth, while natural aging boosts its desirability. Certification through reputable grading agencies ensures that a 1974 10-cent coin receives an unbiased evaluation, locking in its value and making it easier to sell internationally. Knowing how to examine strike strength, contact marks, luster remnants, and rim integrity can mean the difference between a four-figure coin and a once-in-a-lifetime find. Collectors who aspire to understand this coin's deeper place in the hobby benefit greatly from joining numismatic communities, both online and in person. These groups share knowledge about grading trends, hidden rarities, upcoming auctions, and market shifts. They also help new enthusiasts avoid overpaying or falling into the trap of assuming that all old circulated coins hold high value. By learning from experts and comparing their own coins with authenticated examples, collectors develop the eye and intuition needed to recognize the subtle features that make the 1974 10-cent coin so desirable. Conversations within these communities often reveal emerging patterns of demand, making them essential for anyone hoping to invest wisely. Beyond its monetary value, this coin has become a cultural artifact that carries the spirit of Australia's transformation into a modern nation. It represents change, not only in currency, but in national confidence, economic growth, and the creation of a distinct Australian identity separate from its colonial past. The 1974 issue stands as a reminder of the country's rapid development, technological progression, and the democratic ideal of making currency accessible and efficient for all citizens. Its survival in dirty, weathered condition reflects the working history of everyday Australians who carried it through years of commerce, travel, and personal stories. Internationally, the appeal of the 1974 Australian 10-cent coin continues to grow as collectors recognize its rarity and long-term appreciation potential. Its unique copper-toned surfaces, its status as a first-generation decimal piece, and its steep rise in value make it irresistible to global investors searching for coins with historical power and financial promise. As more collectors worldwide compete for the limited surviving population, its price will continue climbing, mirroring the upward trajectory of Australia's place in numismatic history. For those who hold this coin, or hope to find one, it represents not only financial opportunity, but a lasting symbol of cultural heritage whose value deepens with every passing decade. The allure of the 1974 Australian 10-cent coin also lies in the emotional connection collectors form with objects that carry visible signs of time, labor, and life. A dirty, uncleaned example reminds us that this coin was not simply minted and stored. It lived. It passed through countless hands, exchanged stories across generations, and absorbed the natural elements of Australia's climate. This human journey magnifies its charm, making it more than a collectible. It becomes a preserved echo of everyday Australian history. That layered experience is something no modern coin can replicate, and it's one of the reasons collectors are increasingly attracted to coins that maintain their honest, untouched surfaces. As the global numismatic landscape becomes more competitive, investors are turning toward coins with strong historical narratives, and the 1974 10-cent piece fits this category perfectly. Even collectors outside Australia recognize its importance as part of the world's shift towards simplified, modern currencies during the 20th century. The coin's rising market value reflects not just rarity, but the international recognition of its symbolic weight. The more its story spreads across collecting communities, the more demand intensifies, creating a positive cycle where awareness fuels value, and value fuels deeper historical interest. In the long run, coins like the 1974 10-cent piece serve as physical anchors in the study of cultural identity, economics, and national memory. Their worth grows because they preserve a moment in time that can never be recreated. As Australia continues to modernize, early decimal coins become even more cherished as symbols of heritage and evolution. For collectors seeking long-term appreciation, this coin offers a powerful combination of scarcity, historical depth, natural aging, and global admiration. Its journey from pocket change to prized investment illustrates why numismatics remains one of the most meaningful ways to study the past. and why this particular coin is destined to remain a treasure for generations to come. Second, the 1975 Australian 10-cent coin stands as one of the most intriguing and unexpectedly valuable coins of the early decimal era, gaining attention not only for its place in history, but also for the dramatic rise in collector demand. Although millions of 10-cent coins circulated during the mid-1970s, the 1975 issue has become particularly desirable because it marks a period when Australia was still adjusting to its relatively new decimal system introduced in 1966. This coin represents the first decade of the nation's transition away from pounds, shillings, and pence, and every piece from this era carries the energy of that major economic transformation. A very dirty 1975 specimen, covered in age, oxidation, and natural grime, holds immense character and a sense of untouched authenticity that collectors increasingly value. Many people underestimate the importance of condition, and yet the 1975 10-cent coin is a prime example of how scarcity within high-grade categories influences market prices. Most coins from this year circulated heavily, experiencing constant wear, environmental exposure, and rough handling. For this reason, very fine examples are incredibly hard to find, and even a dirty coin with strong underlying details can command astonishing prices. Dirt, when natural and not artificially added, actually enhances the coin's story, signaling that the surfaces remain original and uncleaned. Collectors know that once a coin is polished, scrubbed, or tampered with, its historical integrity is gone forever. So dirty, naturally aged examples are increasingly ranked among the most desirable. Adding to its visual appeal is the subtle copper richness associated with certain 1975 cupronickel compositions. While officially made from the standard cupronickel alloy, many coins from this year reveal warm copper tones when oxidation and dirt settle over time. This creates a darker, earthy sheen that separates the 1975 issue from neighboring years. The copper undertones often become more visible as the coin ages, giving even a heavily used and dirty example a unique personality and a deeper sense of authenticity. Collectors love this natural color transformation because it provides yet another reason why the 1975 issue feels distinct among early decimal coins. The market value of the 1975 Australian 10-cent coin has surged in recent years, shocking new and seasoned collectors alike. With prices ranging from around $1,000 for solid circulated examples to well over $9,000 for rarer, high-grade pieces, the 1975 issue has become one of the standout performers in the decimal coin market. Its rising value is fueled by global collector interest, the shrinking number of well-preserved coins, and increasing public awareness of early decimal rarities. Many buyers are now specifically targeting naturally dirty coins because they tend to be more original, less tampered with, and easier to authenticate as unaltered survivors of circulation. For investors, the 1975 10-cent coin offers an excellent case study in understanding how condition impacts long-term appreciation. The dirtier the coin, so long as the underlying design remains intact, the more confidently experts can verify that it has not been cleaned or artificially modified. Certification through reputable grading agencies helps secure its value, providing third-party confirmation of authenticity, grade, and originality. Collectors who understand rim sharpness, contact marks, strike quality, and overall tone can identify which dirty coins are actually rare gems, waiting to be recognized by the market. As grading standards become stricter, owning a certified 1975 10-cent coin becomes even more advantageous for investment purposes. Community involvement plays a major role in understanding this coin's rising importance. Online numismatic groups, auction networks, collector clubs, and educational forums increasingly highlight early decimal surprises, with the 1975 10-cent coin often leading discussions. These communities help new collectors compare coins, learn grading techniques, and spot undervalued finds. Through shared knowledge, stories, and market observations, collectors gain the skills needed to differentiate common circulated coins from rare, valuable specimens. The 1975 10-cent coin has benefited greatly from this expanding culture of shared expertise, making it one of the most recognized early decimal rarities in the world. Beyond the financial side, this coin carries a symbolic weight that connects deeply with Australia's cultural evolution. It embodies a moment when the nation embraced modern monetary efficiency, bringing its currency system into alignment with global standards. The 1975 issue reflects not only economic change, but also the spirit of a nation stepping confidently into a new era. A dirty, worn example carries the fingerprints of countless Australians who used it through shifting decades, making it a living artifact that bridges everyday life with national history. Its imperfections become a testament to endurance, authenticity, and cultural identity. As the years pass, the international appetite for historically significant early decimal coins continues to grow. The 1975 10-cent piece, with its rare survival rate, copper-tinted surfaces, and powerful symbolism, has become a shining example of long-term value appreciation. Collectors from around the world now view it as more than currency. It is a record of a nation's journey and a physical reminder of how far its modern economy has come. With increasing scarcity, rising demand, and an ever-deepening appreciation for untouched, dirty examples, this coin's value is poised to climb further, securing its place as one of Australia's most important numismatic treasures for generations to come. The charm of the 1975 Australian 10-cent coin also lies in the emotional presence it carries, especially when found in a heavily aged or dirty condition. Each stain, speck of dust, and layer of oxidation becomes part of a visual diary that reflects the decades it survived in circulation. Rather than diminishing its appeal, this rugged surface becomes the coin's signature, an unfiltered record of the countless hands that once exchanged it, the pockets it traveled through, and the environments it encountered. Collectors who appreciate history in its rawest form see these untouched details as proof of authenticity, making such specimens even more captivating than artificially brightened or cleaned examples. The global numismatic community continues to play a major role in elevating the 1975 10-cent coin to the status it enjoys today. As collectors from different countries discover the story behind early Australian decimal issues, the 1975 piece consistently stands out due to its rich background and surprisingly low survival rate in collectible condition. International forums, online auctions, and social media numismatists frequently highlight the rarity of high-grade or unaltered dirty examples, encouraging new buyers to explore the coin's potential. This worldwide interest is a powerful driver of price appreciation, as cross-border competition adds pressure to an already limited supply, ensuring that each authentic coin rises in both prestige and monetary value. In the years ahead, the 1975 10-cent coin is expected to gain even more recognition as collectors increasingly gravitate toward coins with strong historical narratives and proven market performance. Its connection to Australia's first decade of decimal currency gives it enduring cultural significance, while its rarity and copper-toned aging provide aesthetic appeal that sets it apart from ordinary circulating coins. As demand grows and surviving examples become harder to locate, this coin's value, both sentimental and financial, will continue to rise. For collectors, it offers not just the chance to own a rare piece of history, but the opportunity to hold a long-term appreciating asset that will only become more treasured with time. Third, the 1976 Australian 10-cent coin has become one of the most surprising success stories in modern numismatics, rising from humble circulation money to a sought-after rarity, with a value that shocks new collectors. Although it was minted during the first decade of Australia's decimal system, introduced in 1966, the 1976 issue now holds an important place in history as part of the early generation of decimal coinage that shaped Australia's modern monetary identity. A very dirty example of this coin is especially fascinating because the dirt and heavy oxidation act as a natural preservation layer, showing that the coin has never been cleaned, polished, or altered. For many collectors, that untouched condition is more valuable than shine, because it signals genuine age and authenticity, two qualities that have become increasingly prized in the numismatic world. This particular year is known for its limited survival rate in higher grades, especially because most 1976 10-cent coins circulated heavily throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, a period when Australia was experiencing economic transitions and widespread use of small denomination coins. As a result, finding a very fine or extremely fine example is extremely difficult. Even coins covered in decades of grime can bring impressive prices if their core details, like the feathers of the lyrebird or the edges of Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, remain strong beneath the dirt. The rarity of structurally intact pieces from this year has pushed the 1976 issue into a new level of collecting prestige, where even worn and dirty examples can spark bidding wars among enthusiasts. Many collectors are drawn to the unique copper-rich tones that certain 1976 cupronickel blanks display after years of oxidation. Though officially made from cupronickel, some coins from this year show warmer, deeper hues that gradually emerge under layers of dirt, giving them a distinctive visual character compared to cleaner or freshly circulated coins. These copper undertones interact beautifully with the natural darkening caused by age, creating a rugged, earthy appearance that enhances the coin's authenticity. This copper expression has become a talking point within numismatic circles, giving the 1976 10-cent coin a personality that stands out among early decimal issues. The market value of the 1976 Australian 10-cent coin has surged dramatically, with prices ranging from around $1,000 for strong circulated examples to over $9,000 for coins in higher grades or untouched, original states. Dirty coins with natural tunning and solid details often outperform overly bright or clean pieces because collectors view unaltered surfaces as more historically pure. This demand is driven not only by rarity, but by the growing fascination with early decimal coins as a whole. As more collectors learn how scarce high-quality examples truly are, competition intensifies, and the prices continue to climb year after year. For investors, the 1976 issue provides a powerful lesson in understanding condition and originality. Dirt is not a flaw when it forms naturally over time. It is a protective veil that confirms the coin's honesty. The real danger lies in cleaning, polishing, or attempting to restore a coin, actions that instantly wipe away its value. Certification through trusted grading companies helps establish legitimacy, grade level, and originality, providing investors with a solid foundation for long-term value. Those who understand surface integrity, rim strength, luster remnants, and strike sharpness can easily recognize which dirty coins possess true investment potential and which ones should be avoided. Collectors who join numismatic communities gain an important advantage when researching and evaluating the 1976 10-cent coin. Online forums, collector clubs, social media groups, and auction discussions offer valuable insights into grading trends, auction results, and the growing interest in early decimal rarities. These communities help newcomers learn how to identify genuine, high-value coins and avoid common mistakes such as cleaning or mishandling. Shared knowledge ensures that more collectors appreciate the true rarity of the 1976 issue, contributing to its rising market momentum and cultural recognition. Beyond financial gains, the 1976 Australian 10-cent coin carries deep cultural symbolism. It represents a key chapter in Australia's shift toward a modern currency system, leaving behind centuries of British influence as decimalization took hold. The coin's wear, dirt, and natural aging become a reflection of the everyday Australians who used it through decades of transformation. It stands as a metal timeline of national growth, resilience, and evolving identity. Its imperfections make it beautiful, not simply because it is old, but because it is honest, carrying the imprint of a nation's lived history. Looking ahead, international collectors are increasingly recognizing the 1976 10-cent coin as a standout rarity within early Australian decimal coinage. Its scarcity and high-grade condition, distinct copper-toned aging, and powerful historical background make it a strong long-term investment with growing global appeal. As the surviving population continues to shrink and demand expands across borders, this coin's value is poised to appreciate even further. For collectors and investors alike, the 1976 issue is not just a piece of metal. It is a long-lasting cultural asset, a symbol of heritage, and one of the most compelling numismatic treasures Australia has ever produced. The emotional resonance of the 1976 Australian 10-cent coin becomes even stronger when you consider how many of these pieces lived long, hard-working lives in circulation. A very dirty specimen often carries a sense of authenticity that cannot be faked or manufactured. Every darkened groove, every layer of grime, and every softened edge reflects decades of exchanges between ordinary Australians, workers, students, travelers, families, each leaving behind a subtle mark of their time. This lived-in appearance turns the coin into a storytelling artifact, tying the collector directly to the era in which the coin circulated. It becomes more than currency. It becomes a fragment of Australia's social memory preserved in metal. International collectors, too, have begun recognizing that early decimal coins like the 1976 10-cent piece represent a pivotal moment not just in Australian history, but in the broader global shift toward modernized monetary systems. As collectors from other countries study Australia's transition and economic evolution, this coin stands out as both visually intriguing and historically meaningful. The copper-toned aging and deep natural patina appeal strongly to collectors who value originality, while the rarity of uncleaned, high-detail specimens sparks competitive interest at auctions. This growing global awareness contributes significantly to the consistent upward trend in market demand, pushing prices higher and expanding the coin's reputation beyond Australia's borders. Over the long term, the 1976 Australian 10-cent coin is expected to remain a strong performer in the numismatic world because it blends historical richness with undeniable scarcity and aesthetic charm. Coins that combine cultural symbolism with genuine rarity tend to appreciate steadily over time, and this piece aligns perfectly with that pattern. As more collectors recognize the importance of preserving original, untouched surfaces, dirty but structurally sharp examples will only become more sought after. With its layered history, international appeal, and rising investment potential, the 1976 10-cent coin stands as a reminder that the most valuable treasures are often the ones that quietly carry the weight of real human experience. Fourth, the 1977 Australian 10-cent coin has emerged as one of the most captivating and unexpectedly valuable coins from the early decimal era, gaining attention from collectors around the world for its rarity, character, and impressive market performance. As part of the first generation of decimal coinage introduced in 1966, the 1977 issue carries historical weight as Australia continued to refine and stabilize its new currency system. A very dirty example of this coin, covered in decades of natural wear, oxidation, and untouched grime, is often seen as more desirable than a polished piece, because the dirt acts as a natural record of its journey through Australian hands. For collectors who value authenticity and originality, A dirty 1977 10-cent coin becomes not just a collectible, but a quiet survivor of the nation's evolving monetary landscape. Most 1977 10-cent coins circulated heavily throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s, meaning that very fine examples are extremely hard to find today. This scarcity becomes even more striking when you consider how coins of this denomination were used daily, passed from pocket to pocket, exposed to the elements, and rarely saved or protected during that era. A very dirty coin with strong underlying details, where the lyrebird feathers remain visible or the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II retains its core definition, is an exceptional find. Such specimens can command tremendous value because they demonstrate a rare combination of age, originality, and preserved detail beneath the natural grime. This is a key reason why collectors now treat dirty, but intact 1977 examples as one of the most significant decimal discoveries. Adding further intrigue is the copper-rich appearance that certain 1977 cupronickel blanks develop over time. Although the official composition remains cupronickel, natural oxidation creates warm copper undertones that deepen with age, giving the coin a rugged earth-tone patina. When mixed with dirt accumulated through decades of circulation, this copper hue becomes even more pronounced, creating a dramatic and distinctive appearance that sets the 1977 issue apart from surrounding years. Collectors increasingly appreciate these naturally aged surfaces because they reflect genuine history without the artificial brightness that cleaned coins often display. The copper expression is considered a visual fingerprint of authenticity, enhancing the coin's appeal and value. The market value of the 1977 Australian 10-cent coin has risen sharply in recent years, with prices ranging from around $1,000 for strong circulated examples to well over $9,000 for coins with exceptional detail and originality. Dirty examples, when structurally sharp, often outperform cleaned ones because collectors know that untouched surfaces retain full historical integrity. The rise in value is driven not only by scarcity, but by a growing recognition of early decimal coins as important cultural artifacts. As more collectors enter the hobby through social media groups, auction platforms, and online communities, competition increases for the small surviving population of high-quality 1977 coins, causing market prices to climb with surprising speed. For investors, the 1977 10-cent coin demonstrates why originality matters more than superficial appearance. Dirt, patina, tunning, and darkened surfaces are not flaws. They are signs of honesty and preservation. Cleaning, polishing, or attempting to restore a coin can permanently destroy its value, wiping away the natural aging that collectors prize. Certification through reputable grading companies protects the coin's legacy, providing clear confirmation of grade level, authenticity, and condition. Understanding grading standards, luster remnants, rim integrity, and strike sharpness becomes essential for anyone hopping to identify a truly valuable dirty 1977 specimen. With proper evaluation, these coins offer strong long-term investment potential. Collectors who immerse themselves in numismatic communities gain a significant advantage in studying and understanding the 1977 issue. Online groups, collector clubs, and auction discussion boards provide insights into market trends, rare varieties, and new discoveries related to early decimal coins. Through comparison photos, shared experiences, and expert commentary, collectors learn how to distinguish between naturally aged coins and altered ones. These communities also help spotlight the increasing rarity of the 1977 10-cent coin, adding to its reputation and encouraging new collectors to seek out uncleaned, original examples before they disappear from the market entirely. Beyond its monetary value, the 1977 Australian 10-cent coin carries profound cultural symbolism. It reflects a period when Australia was embracing modern currency standards, moving confidently into a new era of economic identity. A dirty, heavily circulated example is far from a flaw. It is a physical reminder of the everyday Australians who used it through years of transformation. Each scratch, darkened groove, and weathered surface tells the story of a nation building its modern structure while still honoring the past. This blend of wear and history makes the 1977 issue not only a collectible but a miniature artifact of Australian cultural heritage. Looking ahead, the international appeal of the 1977 10-cent coin continues to grow as collectors around the world recognize its rarity, historical importance, and investment potential. Its copper-tinted patina, limited survival rate, and role within the early decimal era make it stand out as a long-term appreciating asset. As the global numismatic community expands and the demand for untouched coins rises, the value of this 1977 issue is expected to continue climbing. For collectors, it represents not only a valuable acquisition, but a lasting connection to Australia's numismatic legacy, a coin whose significance and worth will endure for generations to come. The emotional depth of the 1977 Australian 10-cent coin becomes even clearer when you consider how many decades it spent moving through everyday Australian life before reaching the hands of a collector. A very dirty specimen often carries layers of natural history that no mint-state coin can replicate. The smudges, discoloration, and deepened tones created by years of handling turn it into a living artifact, an object that silently witnessed the routines, struggles, and celebrations of countless Australians. This lived history becomes part of the coin's charm, giving collectors the feeling that they are holding not just a currency piece, but a tangible piece of the nation's social journey. International collectors have also grown increasingly drawn to the 1977 issue, as they recognize its importance within Australia's early decimal series. Many collectors abroad see it as a symbol of global monetary modernization, a reminder of when countries were simplifying and standardizing their coinage. The distinctive copper-infused patina of dirty examples has caught the attention of collectors who appreciate natural aging over artificial shine. As more of these coins appear in global auctions and online marketplaces, foreign buyers compete with Australian collectors, pushing demand even higher. This international fascination continues to elevate the coin's status, ensuring that its story spreads far beyond its country of origin. Over the long term, the 1977 Australian 10-cent coin is positioned to remain a standout within the world of early decimal numismatics. Its combination of historical depth, authentic aging, rarity and high-grade condition, and global collector interest creates a foundation for steady and meaningful appreciation. As more collectors learn the value of originality and untouched surfaces, naturally dirty coins with strong underlying details will become even more desirable. The 1977 issue represents more than numismatic value. It carries cultural identity, historical continuity, and investment strength. Its significance will continue to grow as future generations rediscover and celebrate the early decades of Australia's decimal heritage.